Hi, humans, I'm Elenora Catling, #1 advice columnist in the galaxy, and this is my husband, Merlin.
Aloha.
Let's see what our letter is for today. Dear Elenora, did you see that news story with that woman who slapped that poor elderly man for not wearing his mask on an airplane? Wow, when I saw that crazy woman caused pure anger in me. That guy is a hero for containing himself. What's your opinion on ridiculous situations like this? And how can we humans prevent things like this from continuing to occur on airplanes? Signed, JL in St. Louis. Dear JL, sure, I saw that story with that actress who'd been on an episode or two of Baywatch and some old fart who, I guess, was supposedly eating and drinking, so he must have had a tiny bottle of airplane scotch and was eating some nuts, and they got into an altercation on the plane. Come on, don't let yourself get so manipulated by the media in some stupid story that they're not even presenting in a fair way. You know, you don't know what caused them to start to have an altercation. You do not know. They use the word elderly just to manipulate your emotions. All right, this is elderly. This is elderly. This is elderly. This guy, this old fart, he's not elderly. He's real hip on the Karen meme. And you didn't even watch the whole thing, right, JL? Maybe did you not have the volume up when you were watching it? Because it was very clear. She did not slap him for not wearing his mask. She slapped him because he called her a female dog. Whoa, that is uncalled for. Wow. I mean, everybody knows that dogs are slobbery and they leave excrement everywhere, poo all over the yard, and then they jump on you with their fleas and their slobbery tongue, and they try to lick you with their bacteria-laden stank breath. Wow! If that guy called me a dog, I would have drawn more blood than she did. But whoa. Let me back up. I don't advocate violence, and I'm not advocating violence in this situation. All I'm saying is that old fart was no saint, and that neither one of them made good decisions in this situation. So I'm really disappointed with the way that the officials on the plane handled this situation. Here is how the situation could have been handled. A couple of officials, airplane officials, should have come up and they should have said, "All right, you two, both of you off the plane right now." And of course the boy would have said, "But I'm elderly, and she started it." And the dad official would say, "I don't care who started it. You're both fighting, and so you're both in big trouble. So put down your scotch and your nuts and get out on the jetway with your sister." And then the mom would go out there and she'd say, "Okay, you two, apologize to each other." "No, say it like you mean it." And then give each other a hug. Hug it out. And my dad would come in and he'd say, "Yeah," and tell each other that you love each other because we're a family, damn it. And then the mom would take the kids back in the plane and she'd separate them far, far apart from each other so they can't even see each other, so they can't give each other dirty looks for the rest of the ride, because you know they would. And she says, "Now listen up, you two. Quiet time for the next 2 hours. I know you can do this. You can watch a movie. You can read a book. You could do dot to dots. You could color. I don't care what you do, but you need to be quiet for the next 2 hours." And the dad comes in and he says, "That's right, listen to your mom, because for the love of God, could the two of you just not fight for 2 hours of our existence so your mom and I can drive this plane to California and have a nice vacation because we're a family, damn it." And then the mom and the dad official would turn around and start walking back to the cockpit so he could drive the plane, and the dad would whisper under his breath, "Why did we ever have children? We could have been free and had peaceful lives." And the mom would say, "Oh, don't even go there, Kevin, because you know very well it was your mother who was relentless about pressuring us to have grandchildren, and you would never stand up to her and tell her to lay off." And that, guys, is exactly how the officials should have handled this situation, to be fair. Because, I mean, come on, guys. Don't let these things trigger you. These kinds of stories are put out there into the masses so that it's the negative polarity Orions controlling the media, and they're trying specifically to manipulate you for ratings and to keep your mind occupied in negative emotions so it can't even function and notice what they're doing. So Please, JL, you can't say that crazy woman caused pure anger in you. She didn't cause it. She didn't slap you. You caused it because you got triggered. The Baywatch lady was triggered. The old fart drinking the scotch and nuts was triggered. I mean, now you're triggered. It's trigger fest. And you're allowing it to happen. You already know this. Why do I have to tell you this? Didn't you watch that Anchorman movie? I know you watched Anchorman. And the whole point of that movie was that most news is not journalism. It's purely entertainment for ratings, and it's a stinking soap opera just to manipulate you. You know that. What were you even doing when you were watching Anchorman that you missed the whole point of the movie? Okay, you know what? I don't even want to know. There's a moral here for everybody. And here's the moral of this story. If there is a crazy, triggered, irrational person who approaches you, keep your elderly mouth shut and don't say anything to make it worse. A real journalistic story would have given you the whole story about what actually happened, and also would have caught up with these two people a couple of days later and interviewed them and asked them, well, what's going on with you? What caused you to lose it? Because everybody loses it sometimes, JL. Don't tell me you never lose it, because you know you lose it sometimes. And then you're going to say, oh, Elenora, I've never lost it so much like I slapped an elderly man on a plane. Well, I guess you just were on a plane when you lost it, because you know darn well you wanted to slap some elderly jerk some other time. And it's a fine line, JL. Everybody loses it sometimes, so have some compassion for this Baywatch lady. If they would have interviewed her afterward and find out what happened, they probably would have found out being an actress is a horrible choice, and she shouldn't have done that. Now she's stressed out every day, because it's very hard to get work and be able to pay her bills. Or maybe she would have said, he called me a female dog, and he said things in a way that was exactly like my father. And oh my God, I was so triggered, and I lost it. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to lose it, but I did. And then we could have gone to the elderly old fart and could have asked him later, what was your deal? You know, I'm wondering, we have a question for you. Before you retired, were you an elite member of the Special Forces police force who used to de-escalate horrible situations? Because your de-escalation skills are top notch. They're just barely past second grade. We can just imagine you talking someone down off a ledge, and then you'd say something like, hey, stupid Karen, are you gonna jump or not? So, God, I need to calm down. You see how this happens, guys? You just let these things get you all riled up. I'm gonna ask Merlin now. Merlin, bring some calm and some heart to this situation. What is something that would be a solution for this situation?
Disco needs to make a comeback.
Wow, oh my gosh. As usual, love, you are a genius. Yes, listen up, airlines. If you guys would just play disco music while everybody's boarding, then everybody would be in a fantastic mood and all happy by the time the plane took off. This could not possibly be easier, you guys. So there you go. Problem solved. And remember, guys, that you can also ask me a question just like JL. Hopefully yours is going to be a little better question, a little smarter. But, JL, thank you for the letter. And you guys just write your letter in the comments, and I'll do my best to answer it in a future video if I can. And speaking of Karen, here's a letter that's from this poor lady named Karen, and she's got a real terrible life. And I think you should watch it, because no matter what's going on for you, it's going to make you feel a heck of a lot better about your own life and your own circumstances. So be sure to watch that one. And I'll see you next time, guys. Elenora Catling signing off.